welcome everyone. We're back at it with another Get to Know the Pro video. As always, my name is Sam Fiorella. I'm one of the directors of Echo Means Business. Today, we've got Mike Bedell on the little mini broadcast we got going here. Hey, Mike.
Hey, how's it going?
Going very well. Actually, I'm excited to talk to you. So
Great.
We've done a series on, well, I guess we're doing this for all members. We want to highlight all the members. This particular run that we're doing is all about the UAG members. We're going to put a focus on you guys first. So for the rest of you out there, if you want to join this, and have your business, not necessarily as a UAG member, but just as a regular Echo Means Business community member, if you want to have your story told, your business featured, get in touch with one of us on social media or get into the contacts section down below and let us know. And we'll be happy to schedule you into one of our weekly member of the week videos. But in the meantime, we're here talking about Mike. So Mike, for those couple of people out there that don't know who you are, you've been around long enough that I think probably most people do. But for that one or two, why don't you give us a little bit of an introduction into your business, where you are, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Mike Bedell, the owner of Bedell Property Management. And we're located in Milford, Michigan, which is a suburb of Detroit. We're kind of right in between Detroit and Lansing in Michigan. And we're a boutique horticulture, landscape design, install, and then in the winter months we do snow and ice management. And this is our 16th year of business, and it's been quite the ride over the years. But it's as you find out in this industry, you're always going to learn something new, and gotta roll with the punches. So that's kind of where I'm at, and the brief overview of what we are and what we got going here.
You must be a very happy puppy these days with all the snow falling in the U.S.
Yeah, happy and tired.
So let's. We want to let people know who you are outside of your business, but I think just given what's happening in the business right now, we should talk about that a little bit. Snow removal. Obviously, this year is going to be a big deal for you. Is it a moneymaker based on the amount of snow that falls? I know a lot of people have different types of contracts when it comes to snow removal. Do you charge by the hour that you're out, by the amount of snow that falls, or do you get a flat rate every week, regardless of whether it snows or not, like an insurance policy?
Well, the overarching answer to that is yes. We kind of do all of those. After doing this we've done snow for about 12 years now. And so you learn over time what makes you money, what doesn't, how you kind of got to hedge your bets, because in the summer months, to use lawn mowing as an example, the lawn's going to need mowing every week or every other week. There's kind of bigger problems in this world if the grass isn't green and growing in the summer, right? Versus snow, like you said, we're lucky to have some this year, but some years, especially guys out on the East Coast last year, didn't get any at all. So we've positioned ourselves where thankfully we do pretty well over the summer months. We do have some seasonal year-round agreements with some like condo complexes, and they basically take all the services and lump it into a sum and then kind of break it out over the 12 months for just kind of their cash flow. And so in turn, that just carries right through the winter. And so we have the steady revenue of that. But winter is tough. Especially when you get a lot of snow, it's more tough on equipment. You don't quite know exactly what you're signing up for, versus, to use lawn care as an example, if you know you're going to cut an overgrown lawn, you know what you're getting into, versus you sign up that you'll do snow and you don't know whether you're doing 2 inches or 20 inches or centimeters in your case, Sam.
Yeah.
And it be that as it may, we are a little more heavily weighted on the per event or per push or per inch, and then also per bag of walkway multiplied, per gallon of liquid de-icer, per ton of bulk salt. That way, if we are out there doing all this work, we're not kind of doing all of it at this flat fixed rate. And so when we do get a lot of snow, it does set us up to profit from all the hard work that we're going to go do.
So, I mean, we should probably break that down in a lot of details in a networking video, maybe closer to the next winter, maybe next fall. We should think about doing that, because that sounds like it's a pretty convoluted and complicated kind of structure to set up. It's not as simple as slapping on a plow on the front of you, or some kind of a shovel on the front of your truck and just getting out there and doing it.
Yeah. Well, if you wanna do it totally on your own with all your own accounts and stuff, yeah. It's like a lot of other businesses. If you want to be successful, sometimes that success comes with a lot of calculation on the back end to set yourself up and position yourself well. But there's certainly in snow and ice subcontractor opportunities where it is more just of a flat hourly rate, and it is a little bit more simple of slapping a plow on your truck, or I'd say the big demand these days is guys want to sit in the truck or the skid steer. They don't want to go shovel the walkways or push the snow blower. So for guys looking to get into it, I think, yeah, we ought to touch on this come fall, is there's certainly a whole host of opportunities, and you don't necessarily have to have a $50,000 skid steer or a $30,000 plow truck with a $10,000 plow on it to get in the game. If you've got 2 arms and 2 legs and some work ethic, there's people that'll keep you plenty busy.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, that we're going to make that I'm making a note of that. But moving off of that for a second, like
Sure.
That was really my intention to talk about snowplowing, but just given how much snow is falling while we're doing this recording right now, I thought it was appropriate. So on a more personal note, you're a hockey fan,
Yeah.
but the playoffs aren't here yet. You're growing a playoff beard. What's that all about?
Well, for my company, you could argue that snow season kind of is the playoffs. So who knows? It's gotten pretty cold here the past couple weeks, and it is pretty good insulation. And I probably have the least amount of face-to-face contact with clients this time of year, and so get to kind of let it grow out a little bit. It keeps my face warm, and who knows, if it stays cold, we'll may just ride it right through till springtime, and then maybe once I got to look a little bit more socially acceptable and don't want a hot, itchy beard out there, well, we'll kind of clean this up a little bit.
I can imagine that's going to be very comfortable in the middle of July where you're out there pushing that mower.
When I started my business, I was still in the last throes of playing in a rock band, and so I had real long hair at the time. And part of me making the transition was the more I was doing this stuff and working outside in the hot summer, that cool rock star long hair wasn't so cool. It was actually pretty hot and messy and sweaty, and I was pretty happy to let that go. So I'm sure the beard will share the same end result.
So I didn't know you were in a rock band. That's kind of cool. What instrument did you play?
In that band, I played the guitar, but it's funny. A lot of people I grew up with probably would be like, Mike owns a landscaping company? Really? Like, I was definitely more of the music kid growing up, and I played a few different instruments and instrumental music, and I was in the choir, and all that fun stuff.
So the next time we get together as a UAG group for one of our events, I'm going to have you get up and do some karaoke for everybody.
I will do that. Get a couple of ginger ales in me, and I'll let it rip.
That's fine. You know what? We were thinking about what our next event is going to be. We did axe throwing, and we had like that arcade. Maybe the next one's going to be karaoke. That should be kind of funny. A bunch of drinks and then put everybody up on stage.
I think that's good. I mean, the best part is, we all are pretty quick to the draw with our phones. So,
oh God, yeah. Well, you're not going to see me up on stage. I can tell you that. My mom doesn't even like my voice.
Well, if you notice, I said I was in the choir. I didn't sing solos or anything. So, I blended in pretty good with 30 other people.
So yeah, I don't even think I could do that. My voice is that, my singing voice is that bad. So what was your okay, you got to give me some crazy, groupie rock story, to be able to tell everybody else that's not watching this video.
Um, yeah, I mean, so the last band that I played in, we had some moderate success. We were scouted by Interscope Records for a while, and we were actually one of the pet projects of one of the guys in Eminem's group, D12. And so for the summer, right after my senior year of high school, I spent the whole summer hanging out with like a whole bunch of rappers and security, and it was like I was constantly walking into these bizarre situations thinking like no one's even gonna believe that this happened, like this is so and then yeah, those guys like hang out with a lot of women, like I was always amazed at like, oh, who's this gal? Well, she flew in from Australia, and it's like, really? So yeah, we'll probably leave it there to just keep it PC. But it was, yeah, it was fun. It was fun. Some people go to college to have those memories. I played in a rock band.
So that the next time you and I are sitting down over a beer, that's gonna be my first question.
Sure. Yeah, no, gosh, the stories, there's a whole summer's worth. So
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to exchange stories. But given that, I know that, D12, Detroit band, as is Eminem, and given by your poster behind you, you're obviously a Detroit Red Wing fan.
yeah.
Been a hockey fan all your life?
Yeah, I apparently, like, when I was real young, like I somehow was drawn to it, like maybe even before I could almost talk. Like my parents would be flicking through, and in Michigan, we at least on the east side of the state, we get a lot of the Canadian public channels like CBC or TVO, TV Ontario. And so Hockey Night in Canada, was on. And so I'm sure somewhere in my mom's basement, there's video cassette tapes of she would like tape Hockey Night in Canada because it's only on for a couple hours, but I want to watch it on Tuesday morning, and I'm like 2 and don't understand. So it started with that, and learn how to skate like everybody else, and then I was lucky enough to play a bunch of hockey up through high school, and then I kind of hurt my ankle good enough that it was starting to become a little less enjoyable. And I've still played every once in a while. I was a goalie, so everyone's always looking for a goalie, especially when you get older, for beer league. And the past few times I've been out, my feet hurt, and I'm not quite as flexible as I used to be. And I've always said to people when they're like, yeah, we're looking for a goalie, you want to play? I'm like, well, I mean, I might be willing to like sub in and skate out, but I don't know that I want to play goalie. And all of a sudden the offer kind of fades off. So yeah, but I definitely love me some hockey.
Those beer leagues are vicious. You know what I mean? It's just a bunch of 40-year-olds or 40-something-year-olds that, think they're still 18 and they want to relive their youth. And yeah, I did it for a little while, and yeah, I got hurt more then. Not even because I was older and I wasn't as in shape, which clearly I wasn't. But it was more the fact that the guys they've got something to prove to themselves, that they're still young, that they can still fight. Yeah, I had to stop. It just wasn't enjoyable for that reason for me.
A contractor, now like a month ago, when they finally opened the rinks back up, he was playing like drop in, and somebody high sticked him, and he caught like 6 stitches in his lip, and it was like a drop in hockey game, for goodness sake. So yeah, you're right. There's the guys out there who still think they're gonna make it at 35.
I know that's a male ego thing, I think. But so how did you go from being NHL wannabe to a rock star, being scouted by D12 to the lawn care business?
That is a great question. So my dad's a pretty ambitious guy, didn't like us sitting around the house, always had us doing chores. And by the time I was like, I don't know, 10, 11 years old, the chore list now included mowing the lawn and doing things around our house, which, isn't that, I guess, abnormal. You hope that maybe you can get your kids to do something around the house, right? So it started with that. And then my dad suddenly, when I was like 13, was like, you need a summer job. And unbeknownst to him, you can't like legally have a summer job until you're like 14 and a half in Michigan, like unless it's a family business or you want to work under the table. But he made me go to like grocery stores and all these different places, and no one would hire me because I was like 13 and 2 months old or something. And so he was bemoaning this to one of the neighbors. And that neighbor goes, well, I see Mike cuts your lawn and does your shrubs. Like, I have somebody do mine, but I'm not overly attached to them. Like, I'm paying this, so why don't I just pay Mike to do it? And the evolution started from there. I kind of turned into the neighborhood lawn kid while still, playing hockey and playing the guitar and drums and whatever else. And so I did that. And then, my dad got his wish. I was 16 and got a job as a dishwasher. And then after that, actually a job at the local ice arena, and definitely like the ice arena more than the dishwasher gig. But the big takeaways I learned from that couple years of doing that was, I'm here on somebody else's schedule. I don't have a lot of say. I'm only, especially back then, I was getting maybe like $5 or $6 an hour, versus in the summer months, I could go cut a couple neighbors' lawns and do it in an hour, hour and a half when I want on my schedule. And I'm making $50. And that painted the picture pretty clear. And my dad had made comments over the years, like, if you really want to make money, you got to work for yourself. And I know he definitely made the people he worked for a lot of money over the years. And so I kind of put it all together and said, I've kind of got this thing going here. I maybe should try and keep going with this. And so while I was playing in the band and taking advantage of other musicians who are always desperate for money, I had those guys helping me move mulch in between shows or mini tours out of state and kind of staying busy. And as the band started to fizzle, I realized that a lot of these jobs I was doing, people liked what we were doing. We were improving the beauty of it, but then they'd start pestering me with these questions like, why is my tree not doing good? Or why doesn't the lawn grow good over here? And I don't know. I'm kind of just some kid, and I can cut the grass or I can put new mulch down, but I have no idea. And I realized I'd said that like a few too many times. And I'm like, I'm like throwing away opportunities here because I'm honest, but I don't know the answer. And so my local community college had a horticulture program and also a landscape design program. And so I went through both of those and got to figure out the answers to a lot of those questions and use that as kind of the catalyst to separate myself from the pack, and allowed me to really go all in on the landscape company. And that's what I've been doing the past 15, 16 years. So
that's a great story. Do you find that the education at the college makes a difference for you and your business?
Yeah, absolutely. I was lucky in the sense that while I was getting the education, I was still out there working. So it was a lot of like hands-on, applied, like I could learn it, but then see it. And it was really reinforcing. And then the other thing is I was pretty direct with all my professors. Like, this is what I'm trying to do. This is what I want to get out of it. And so for me, it was pretty calculated. It's a lot like how people, would hopefully think about upgrading to a bigger mower or getting a second lawn crew or whatever it is. For me, it was just there was the calculated, all right, I'm giving up all this time and this money now, but I need to get this education out of it. And I definitely was a little bit of a thorn, I think, to some of my professors, because I pushed for knowledge, but in the end, I actually have a pretty good relationship with them all still. And gosh, right before COVID hit, I was at an industry event, and I'll always remember my landscape design teacher. I ran into him and he pulled me aside and just shared that, like, he knew that I would make it in this industry a long time ago, and I was glad to see I stuck with it, and it almost brought a tear to my eye. It was really nice of him to say it. So for them to see that years ago, like, I maybe wanted it a little bit more than other people did, and I was kind of a man on a mission, and that I've stayed the course with it. Yeah, for me, it's been a differentiator, but I think it's like anything else. It's all what you put into it and what you're trying to get out of it. And fortunately, I think a lot of people, whether it's any type of education, they're maybe not there because their heart's in it. They're there because mom and dad want them to be there, or grandma and grandpa paying for it, or whatever it is. And that's great. But then, those kids really go to college to have those band type experiences I have, and they're not there, on a mission to learn X, Y, and Z because they know they needed it. For me, I was already out doing the work, and I could see what my transparent strengths were and what my weaknesses were. And for me, it was, well, if I don't fix these weaknesses now, how do I think I'm actually going to be successful long term in this? And so that's, for me, definitely been a differentiator. And I wouldn't if I had to do it again, I definitely would. It wouldn't change anything.
That's good to hear. Well, Mike, I really appreciate you taking some time to share a little bit more about who you are. I always enjoy having conversations with you. I'm sure the audience is going to feel that they've gotten to know you a little bit better tonight as well. Thanks for joining us. For those of you watching, thank you as well. Look at all the other UAG videos, get to know the pros that are in this section. If you're on the Echo Means Business site, if you want to talk to Mike, Mike is always on our Echo Means Business channels, in particular the mobile app. For those of you that haven't downloaded it, download it now. Any questions you have about snow removal in particular, or you want to pick his 16 years of experience brain, that's the place to do it. And that's what they're here to do, is to help mentor everybody else. So thanks, Mike, for that mentorship. Thanks for being part of this. Good night, everybody.